Rocket League fans, we are here live with the ARNG, that's the Army National Guard, taking on the NJCAA, which is, of course, the National Junior College Athletic Association. This is their esports team, and they are about to do battle. First and foremost, a little interview action coming out here with my man, Corporal Flores. That's Juice in-game. Juice, are you with me?
I'm with you. How's it going?
Doing very, very well. Doing very well. Back here with the NJCAA and Army National Guard. I got zero complaints, my man. I got zero complaints. Before we get
Awesome.
this interview really started, I gotta ask, how often do you get the OJ jokes?
A lot, actually. That's how I got my name. So it just makes sense. I
Wow.
I rolled
You
with
took
it, and
the
that's the origin story of my
got you. You
username.
took the police on a 40-hour run across LA highways 20 years ago. Is that what you're
Hmm.
saying? Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha. There it is. The man, the myth, the legend here indeed. So let's get right on into it here, Juice. I want to
Mhm.
ask you a little bit about your team. In between, before we went live, you said that this is a very well established squad. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, I actually happen to be their coach and team manager, so I'm subbing in as a third man for this squad. But I've coached them for a long time, and I've been able to see them grow, and it's been amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot to be said for it. And especially, like you said, you kind of get that second look at it being the coach of
Mhm.
this squad as well. So, want to ask are you guys going to be going up against the Lincoln Land Community College Loggers? Got to
Mhm.
ask. Research has been done here in preparation for this match.
I'll say we kept it pretty brief. We saw there were the two times, and I only know of one two time. So I was like, you know what? We'll just play it by ear. They've got to be pretty decent. So we're going in it thinking that they're the best team out there. So we're gonna come out competing either way, regardless if we're the same or we're lower than them, or we're just gonna treat it as they're a pro team. Keep
Lower,
it simple.
higher, who knows? These are stipulations. These are definitions that are literally figured out on the field, which you guys will be
Right?
at in just a minute. So we'll get there when the time comes. Want to ask you? You've been in the Army National Guard now for what, 3 years?
A few years, actually, 9.
9 years. 9 years. That's
Yes.
three times what I just said. Okay, so excuse me.
You're
Quite
just
a
you're
while.
close. Yeah,
There
a
you
little
go.
bit.
We'll call it. I appreciate you,
Yeah,
Juice. I appreciate you. I want to
it's been
ask,
fun.
is there anything really that you learned over there with the Army National Guard that has been easily transferable skill-wise, coaching-wise, playing-wise, anything-wise here for the great game of Rocket League?
Absolutely. Teamwork is key. Teamwork, communication, and having that resilience. Because when you're out there playing Rocket League and you're grinding, and then it gets a little bit rough when you lose a few games that leads to a series, and then having to bounce back into the next one. You need
Hmm.
that mental resiliency, and that's something that we're really strong in. And overall, helping that grind to get better, it's something that you're gonna need because you will run into teams that are better than you, and it's up to you to match them or beat them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. End of the day, like I always say, if you go forth and you play a team that's simply better than you, but you come out of it with a loss, but you have not learned anything from that loss, you have effectively lost twice. But yes,
That's true.
many, many transferable skills from those learned over in almost a decade at the Army National Guard here to the coaching aspect and
Now I feel
coaching aspect
old.
and playing aspect of Rocket League. I'm sorry?
Now I feel old a little bit.
Well, I'll be 30 in January, my friend. I sincerely doubt you're that much older than I am. I got to
A
say though,
month behind you.
resiliency, that's really one that
Mhm.
stuck out to me. Not all of us can only take so many what a saves, what a saves, what a saves online from our opponents, right?
1000%. Yes, I agree.
Yes, sir. Predictions on this match coming in here will be which we will be to in just a minute. Who's gonna be top scorer?
On this one, I'm probably gonna go with Blaze. Woody can pop off here and there, but Blaze is, I think it's kind of our main striker. But we'll see. You never know. It's a three-man team, so depending on what role we end up falling into, it could be up in the air.
Fair curveball here now. Who's gonna be the top scorer for the NJCAA squad?
No clue.
Man said zero. Nobody's gonna be the top scorer. They're all gonna be tied for zero
Correct.
scores apiece. I'm putting words in
MVP is gonna
Juice's
be on
mouth
our
here.
side, so
There it is.
we're good.
There it is. I love it. I love it. Um, any wanted to ask if obviously you spent a lot of time in the Army National Guard. You've been playing esports for a long time as well, correct?
Yes, even before I put on the uniform, and I
There it
will
is.
long after.
Gotcha. Hey, there you go. A lot of dedication here from my man Juice. What was your first video game period and your first esport experience? The differential being, my first would have been playing N64, Mario Party, or no, I guess Dreamcast back in the day, and like
Mhm.
Crazy Taxi. My first esport experience would have been going to a Halo 2 LAN with my older brother. So Question posed to you.
Okay, so first game, the original Super Mario, right? Just original, belong with the set,
Classic.
slam it down, gets
Classic.
super ragey. Competitive, we'll go Halo 2. Halo is very near and dear to my heart. I still am very proud that I got up to, I still remember the ranks. So up to rank 42 in Team Slayer and about like 38 in Snipers. So for those that played back in the day, you realize that it's very difficult. You start going up against people that have symbols attached to their names. So
Yeah.
like 44 and above yeah.
Yeah. Anything above that strikes fear into the heart of the competition, which,
Yeah.
of course, Juice will be doing here today as well. It's all
Mhm.
about that mental game, right?
1,000%.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, that takes me back right there, I got to say. Really getting to the symbols, past the actual double digit numbers. That was the deal. And I feel
Yeah.
like there's a sliding scale there, right? We're
Mhm.
Halo players. You can't really be expected to do math that often, right? So
Yeah.
once we get up to symbols, it's much, much easier for us. You get double
Oh
digit
yeah.
numbers, you gotta start comparing them to the next. That's
Mhm.
where we get lost. You just give us symbols once
You
we
have a
get up
picture,
higher
it's
there
like,
towards
whoa. I will say it leaded me and my buddy actually getting uninvited to a lot of lands because it just wasn't fair anymore.
There it
Uh,
is. There it is.
it'd be like
Had the
that.
skills to pay the bills,
Yeah.
Juice. That's what we like
Mhm.
to hear. That's what we
Yeah.
like to hear. Now, good people, I have a great gift for you. We'll have the
Okay.
Audible Chocolate Source. That's Ravishing Ravish coming in here to help me call this game here in just a minute.
Awesome.
Juice, I want to thank you for your time and kind of coming in and give us a minute of your time before the game.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Absolutely. Oh,
Appreciate it.
here I see the last question here that I almost missed, possibly the most important one. One I definitely want to know myself. Juice, what is it that happens to us after we die?
I don't know if I knew that
I'm just
answer,
messing with.
we
I'm just messing with you, my man. I'm just messing with you. It's something fun I always do here for the interviews. But
yeah.
hey, if you get the answer, please let me know. I'll pay you $5. Okay.
I think the rest of humanity wanted to. So
There you go. There you go. I'm out here doing the Lord's work. That's what I'm saying, right? I'm out here doing it. It's for the people, Juice. You got to give
for
them
the
what they
people.
want.
That's true. But
There you
we'll get them a
go.
good match. Yeah, so we'll
Exactly.
see.
Exactly. We're getting that started here in just a second. Don't tune away because I'll take it personally. The action between the NJCAA and the Army National Guard starts in just a minute. And we are back here with the ARNG, that's the Army National Guard, taking on the NJCAA, a little Rocket League showcase coming at you, Rocket League fans. FBI Tugboat here. I'll be joined by the audible chocolate that is Ravishing Ravish here in just a little bit. But first, we got a little video from one of our sponsors. Shout out to all three of them. That's HyperX, the Army National Guard, and the NJCAA, excuse me, that is the National Junior College Athletic Association Esports side. Let's get on into the video and then we'll get right into the action.
It's hard to believe, but 2020 is nearly in the rearview mirror. It's been an incredible stretch for us, and I know we've asked a lot of our force this year.
While circumstances will continue to evolve, here are the facts as they stand. All 54 states, territories, and the District of Columbia have declared a state of emergency.
National Guard in its response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The hurricane that came through last night.
Flood events that came in.
Disaster response during floods, hurricanes, and wildfires.
When disaster strikes, we don't have to mobilize from some base. We pack a lunch, we go to work because we are already there in the communities. We live there. We can respond faster.
And they've been an unbelievable asset, all these other hands processing ballots.
We're so blessed to have this many soldiers come out and help us feed needy families during this difficult time.
Saying thank you to the National Guard to honor all the hardworking men and women day in and day out.
So it's invaluable what your soldiers are doing with the food services and with medical and things of that nature. They're literally saving people's lives every day.
You can see on people's faces the relief that comes when they know they have food to eat for the rest of the day, maybe the rest of the week.
So we're trying to make sure they feel safe coming out here and expressing their opinions and affecting the kind of change they want to see.
Fire knows no boundaries, and so, you know, we train together, we fight fire together.
It's nice to be here and be doing my job.
Just knowing that you're helping out, just knowing you're giving back to the community is pretty good.
Being a part of this mission is honestly very fulfilling. It's what I signed up for. It's what most of the soldiers with me signed up for.
To help out in any way possible and giving 110% to any community that we serve.
And remember this, always ready, always there.
There you go. You heard it here first from our sponsor. That's the Army National Guard. Sending a team on in here. We're going to see Corporal Flores, Private First Class Oka, and Private First Class Piazza, who I was told I can refer to as Pizza, which is going to be way easier for me. That is Juice, Owaka, and Woody, who's going to be playing on this squad for the right side in this best of 7. Lincoln Land, that is the community college, Lincoln Land Community College Loggers. You saw them previously. They are the two-timers over there at the NJCAAE. They put down the Lackawanna Community College 4-2 previously. We're going to see Becky, we're going to see Slothish, and we're going to see Get Over here today. Let's get right on into it. Back on into it. Slothish off the top first. Again, this is Lincoln Land on the left in the blue. Army National Guard on the right, the orange or red, depending on your hue choice. Woody, back on over to it. Have a weaker touch up and over here. Get Over blocking that one out for the time being. Aoka there, getting a nice little hit. Becky trying to get this one up. Left over, Get Over, excuse me, actually. Providing a solid little hit right there. Slothish keeping the dream alive right here for Lincoln Land. There's our first demo. Only 25 seconds into it. These guys are going after it already. Juice up and over. That's actually going to be teammate Woody popping this one in a huge fashion over. A high-flying game indeed already. With no scores on the boards so far. Becky, fantastic redirect right here. Juice, the last man back. Slothish goes for it. That was not a lazy hit by any means. Put everything in a bag of chips in that effort. Slothish almost getting demoed there at the end, but back on over towards ball. 60 seconds up and nobody coming out on top. This ball going back to the middle for the first time in this game, really. Started there and it has not seen that one since. A lonely ball indeed. Woody dropping this one down to the bottom. Players trying to get on top of it. Juice rounding this one over. Get Over gets right in front of him and sends that ball over. Becky from the side here. Both teams, excuse me, showing off what they can do in the air. And Woody gets gifted one right here like it's his birthday, Christmas morning. Costco sample, it's all free. Woody bouncing this one across the middle. Not going to see defenses like that very frequently. 3:37 left in here as the side of the Army National Guard does strike first. Juice. Side action here. Slothish coming flying in at this one. Does not get the correct angle on it and gets met by an Army National Guard member. Not going to get goals in that easily, my friend. Woody, that's a good redirect. Just a little bit too high. Get Over still covers it up regardless. Smart play is there. Back to the middle. Aka. Nice hit there, but that's going to be Juice trying to cover it up from the side. Little roller action. That's going to be way too slow. He gets a second hit right there, and Aka almost... It's a fantastic low blow, midi pinch action, we'll call it, from the ground and more. Juice keeping this one aloft and setting up for teammate Becky, almost colliding with Woody in a not preferential manner, at least if you're a member of Lincoln Land. No harm, no foul so far. Still 1-0 as we're approaching halftime. Slothish there, and that's Oka again. 3 shots attempted, first goal in. Army National Guard, 2-0. We're just outside halftime. Some fantastic stuff there, 83 kilometers per hour. Doesn't have to be that fast. A little dab and reaper action there towards the end. Back to it. Slothish against Woody. Woody winning that for right now. Juice up. Becky forced to drop everything to get over that one. That would have been a goal otherwise, so a good investment of boost and movement. Juice over. Juice no boost to be spoken of until he picks up a couple small ones. That's Oka again. Is going to get the assist on this one, but this would have gone in regardless. I feel Oka there. You put this up, you put this over, even though Woody's got it, you don't know who is behind. Always got to check your corners there. A little dab and reaper action at the end again. Love to see it. Halftime now, or just outside half of it. 2 seconds till we get there, and the Army National Guard is pulling no punches. Hit back to the middle. Becky with a huge one at the top. He would have preferred a better angle out. You're going to use that ball power and speed to at least make this a little bit more centered. Not going to happen if wishes were horses. Aoka, another very high hit. Army National Guard's actually gotten a couple of those ones. Nothing from it so far. That was Oka earlier. That was Juice there. And just like that, Becky and the rest of Lincoln Land are going to take possession. Army National Guard's been playing some fantastic defense. We'll have to continue to do so. As Lincoln Land so far has been on the offense for what, 15, 30 seconds or so now? Get over. Continuing that theme right there. Oka, unfortunately, not able to get the angle that he wanted. Woody did cover it up, but this is still completely within the realm of play for your Lincoln Land Loggers. We're looking to chop down this cherry tree here in just a minute. Cherry tree? Yeah, we're going to go with it. Slothish. Hit back over to the right side. Grounded ball. Juice pops it back up again. Army National Guard. They can do a lot in the air, but popping this ball up when they don't have boost has not been cash money so far. Game 1 is game 1. A lot of learning action here. A lot of feeling out of your opponents to be had. And perhaps that is more what they are doing so far. Kind of testing the waters here. A little litmus test, if you would. Woody, right corner. Woody around. Becky meets him there. Becky, no go. Oh, that's get over. Just barely blocking this one out. I don't think that would have actually gotten past right side post, but regardless, had to cover that one up because that would have been perfect. Woody with a dead-on shot, and defense is there all day long. Slothish leaning out the tree to get this one out and around. 3 scores, though, up for the Army National Guard. Might be enough to put this one away. Average of 1 score every 15 seconds required for the Lincoln Land Loggers. And that's just to tie it up, y'all. Back to the corner. Get over there. Get over back to Woody. I feel like I'm a broken record how often Get over and Woody have been doing battle. There's the first. Becky and the Lincoln Land Loggers not going to be shut out of this one. Perfect angles. Everything else. I think Oka might have gotten tripped up over with teammate a little bit right there, but either way, this is Lincoln Land again, not going to be shut out. Turn that donut into a breadstick. 0 into a 1. Talking about bread transformation. Not sure what I was trying to say there, y'all. 20 seconds. Double score is required for Lincoln Land. That's just tied up again. Back over to it. Get over to Becky. Becky with a hit. Almost a very, very, very dangerous hit. Would have almost certainly resulted in a score. Not going to happen. 3 seconds. Not going to happen. Can't score twice in the 0-0 situation. 3-1. And Army National Guard does strike first here. This is in every way, shape, and form off the back of some very aggressive plays from Oka and from Woody. We're looking at, what, 12 total attempted shots for the Army National Guard here. Yes, the Lincoln Land Community College, excuse me, only had 2 shots on and 1 made in, so their shot percentage ratio, their completion ratio right there being a dead even 50%. Looking at 3 on 12, so 25% for the Army National Guard. Doesn't matter. There's going to be another situation where the more attempts on goal that you make is going to be yielding in many more goals. We'll see if that theme here continues as we get into game number 2 after a score difference of 2 in game number 1. We'll be back there and get into that game in just a second. Looking at more on the score lines here. 1 save total for the Army National Guard and 6 from the Lincoln Land Loggers tells me that this is a Army National Guard squad that completely spent a lot more time on this offensive position with time of possession on this ball. They simply had more possessions, they had more attempts, they had everything in between that led them to coming forth and taking this one early and then really letting Lincoln Land play from behind. We are going to give a little more information here. Let's go spectate on Rocket League. There you go. Colton, say that again for me. I didn't hear the first time. We're looking at the roster cards now here. Army National Guard up first. A little bit of extra information here. Corporal Flores, you know him from the fine gentleman that we saw in our interview earlier. Talked about how similar some of the skills that he learned the Army National Guard in his almost 10 years in to easily transfer over to Rocket League. Private First Class Oka, playing under A. Oka, and Private First Class Pizza. That's Piazza, I know that. He told me to call him Pizza, so get off my back. We saw him popping off here left and right. That's Woody there, Private First Class Pizza. Looking at Lincoln Land. These are the loggers here. Nope, this is FBI Tugboat. Far more attractive in my opinion. Lincoln Land Loggers coming up here in just a second. Again, the starters here were Becky, Slothish, and Get Over. All 3 of them contributing, but not really able to come out on top here in game number 1. Lincoln Land Loggers. If nothing else needs to be said about this squad, the simple fact that they have 5 fantastic players coming through and able to start for them should say it all. Tyler Beck is a freshman out here from Springfield, Illinois. I think there's a joke to be made about The Simpsons there. I'm going to refrain and not pick the low-hanging fruit there. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Caleb Abernathy, or King Wolf, another freshman coming out of Taylorville, Illinois. Hunter, oh man, I should ask about the pronunciation before this. Hunter Guin, I hope I said that right. Sniper, another freshman. He is coming from Sherman, Illinois. Sam Newting, hailing from Rochester, Illinois, another freshman there for the NJCAA Lincoln Land Loggers. The only sophomore on the squad, Ariel Nugis, is going to be from Pittston, not Pittsburgh, right? Am I losing it here? Yes. Text is very small. Pittston. Yes, Pittston, not Pittsburgh. I'm certain that if I had made that mistake, I would not have been the first one by any means. Ariel hailing from Pittston, the sophomore here. Again, the only older player here. Again, if you're unfamiliar with the way that some of these junior colleges work, the JUCO system work, players come in here, they do their players, students, whatever else. They come in here and do the first 2 years, freshman and sophomore years here, before usually transferring somewhere else and continuing on with whatever education they have accrued from their community college. Now, we'll be getting on in here to game number 2 of this best of 7. And hopefully, because I'm feeling lost and alone here, guys, with my man Ravishing Ravish here with us soon. Stinging back in. 3-1 is our game number 1. If you're Lincoln Land, you want to make this a non-repeat performance. A lot to be learned in games number 1, but Aoka coming through. 5 seconds. First score on. That's going to be our fastest score on the board so far. Devin Reaper again. Oka knows what he likes. Get over. Slothish, Becky. Gotta tighten it up here. Can't be giving away early goals, especially when you're down 1-0 in the series, my friends. I don't know much about Rocket League, but I do know that. 10 seconds in. Army National Guard not keeping up their 5-second per average score line. Their 5-second per goal score line. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Bolton. Shout out now, actually, excuse me. I'm a fool with it beyond compare, everybody. Shout out to K-Tad and to Colton. Tournament organizers, producers, out there doing the Lord's work, helping us out, making my job as a caster just so much easier. I do really appreciate that. 40 seconds in. Back on over to it. Bounce action across the middle. Picking up is Woody. That's going to be a little bit too high, but he has the boost to get there. That's a nice bouncer, and Woody gets gifted for it right here. Doesn't have to be fast. Doesn't have to be loud. Doesn't have to be fancy, everybody. Just do it like Woody. Nicely done. Nicely done. That's pizza. First class piazza for being technical, for being super, super formal. 45 seconds into this one. Looking back, the Lincoln Land Loggers got to come back on this one. They have to strike it. They have to strike soon, everybody. Aoka bouncing this one past. Becky almost puts that one up perfectly, but Aoka gets just teed up for this one all day long. Bounce action across Juice. If teammates of Get Over had gone up there and they'd deleted away this defender, this goalie, that would have been an open net situation all day. We've seen demos and the benefit that they can provide so far. Juice almost gets it. That's gonna be Aoka all day long. Second shot in, second goal in, and that's the sixth total. My God, math is hard for the Army National Guard. Slothish, Becky both trying to get there. Not gonna happen. Did not get the mitt under this ball, as they say. 3 minutes, 48 seconds. Getting back to it here and again. Army National Guard in position they were in. They ended game 1 with, as of right now. Even better than the position they ended game 1 with, because game 1 ended 3-1. 3-0 is markedly better, as long as you're an Army National Guard member and not a Lincoln Land Loggers member. If you're a Lincoln Land Loggers member, 3-0-3 is much worse. It's terrible. Not something that you want. Not at all. Slothish hits over. No boost to be spoken of. Gets it nabbed out from him. Candy from a baby there on the big boost. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Becky. Air shot. Side of Lincoln Land. Kind of showing up like Army National Guard with unnecessary long form and slow hits on ball against ceiling. Very little benefit to be gotten there. Very little. Oka over. Oka gets it past 1. Almost gets it past 2. Becky says, no go, not today. This is my goal and you shall not pass. 2 minutes up to this one. Nice bat. All right, I wish we could pause this game because Woody lining those two up to hit him just literally let his squad come over and get at least an initial hit. That was only off the back of some fantastic or excuse me, some fantastic Lincoln Land play that they were able to maintain position for the time being, but not going to matter. Woody coming in, not going to be denied again. Third shot on. Man's got himself a save as well with a second goal in. Nicely done. Just outside halftime, Army National Guard coming in. A swinging, hitting Hail Marys. Home runs. What's the hat thing? Triple, hat trick. Hat trick. This is so much easier to do with the co-caster, everybody. Especially one like Ravishing Ravish, who I pray will be in here soon with me. Nice hit from Becky, not going to be on point. Did get picked up by Aoka. That's going to be Slothish with probably the fastest goal that we have seen so far. My God, 135 kilometers per hour. Everybody, there is 1.6 kilometers in a mile, so we're looking at definitely higher than a 100-mile-an-hour goal right there. That is breaking speed limits and almost the sound barrier. That's not true, but we're just going to go with it, all right? We're just going to go with it. Aoka, on over. This is what we want to see from the Lincoln Land Loggers. Plenty of time to get back to it, and no go, my buddies. Fourth shot on, third shot in. Woody is taking no prisoners here tonight, everybody. Getting back on into it. 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Becky corner play. Woody getting up to it. Got himself a big boost. Now working with it. Nice little bouncer. Becky with a necessary redirect right there. Puts in the hands of Juice, but that would have gone in anyways, so it's a fantastic play. Note the Fast and the Furious tags on the side. Shout out to Rocket League for their continued amazing partnerships with all kinds of different companies, entities, organizations, and everything in between. Bounce to the left. Becky putting this one up. Aoka right there perfectly. That's just about on center. Get over, knows it. Get over, pushes this one over. And now has an opportunity to take this one out. Juice gets beat to it. Juice forced to come off the bunk and get over. Gets gifted with a goal right there. If you're the Army National Guard, this is the first, what, 30% of each of these games is all you all day long. The rest of those might be marred by little mistakes and whatnot. That was a mistake all day long. You get beat there on the corner, just give it up. Go to goal. Don't try and hit it, because sometimes, especially in your higher skill tiered games like these, that is going to happen. Becky, back over to Juice. Becky hits this one left to right, right to left. Directions are hard. Get over, hit play. If that was more centered, that'd been another goal and a little run established for the Lincoln Land Loggers. Now back to the middle. Becky almost gets there, but gets beat to it. And actually, I think kind of tapped out to the left and is unable to have covered that one up. Woody brings this one over and around, tries to make it there for teammate. Not going to happen. Get over, fantastic redirect, and get over blocks his teammate's shot. Truly things that you hate to see. 50 seconds left in this one. And am I still lost and alone in this world? That is the question, everybody. Looks like we're going to get Ravish in next game. 40 seconds in. Or 40 seconds left, excuse me. Becky, pop plays. Slothish keeping that one alive. Becky realized he had to get away from this one. He was going to block entry to goal. And that's smart. Aoka tries this, put this one up, but get over gets to it first. Almost. Man, oh man. Becky and the rest of the Lincoln Land Loggers have been doing everything in a bag of chips to try and get this goal in. When the Army National Guard is on defense, they are on defense. Perhaps there's... it makes a lot of sense, right? This is what they kind of do for a living. Get over. On over to it. ARNG. Going to be taking this one no matter what. It might be 6-2, might be 5-3, doesn't matter. That's a grounded ball now. ARNG finish game number 2 in fine fashion. Even more of a score difference than your game number 1. See how this continues to go? We'll be getting into game number 3. And yes, people, I am no longer lost and alone in this world. The audible chocolate that is Ravishing Ravish has joined us. I wish we had roll my R's.
How are you, sir? Because, you know, FBI, I've missed your face and I miss being here. I appreciate y'all having me yet again. And I came by at the last little bit just to join y'all for just a couple of seconds. They gotta say, man, yo, the Army National Guard guys are playing out of their absolute mind right now.
They really, really are. Some of these aerial plays earlier and the whiffs therein are a thing of the past. We're moving on into game number 3 after game 1 ended 3-1. More of a minor victory there. 5-2, though, is really starting to stretch that difference, Ravish.
It most definitely is, my friend. I gotta say, so if they keep going on into this trajectory, I'm excited to see what more they can play. Nice little solo plays, good little defensive backup, and yo, man, it's at the end of the day, you make those solo plays, but if you got no boost management on your side, then I think this might be a little back and forth. But I'm excited to get into it as the games go on.
Absolutely. Back and forth, here we go. We've seen several demolitions. We've seen some fantastic pass plays. We've seen some even better takeaways. We'll see how that goes in game number 3 as we go to it. Let's go ahead and check out some of these teams, Ravish.
Yes, sir. Now, as you see right in front of us right now, man, it's looking good so far here, Colton. FBI. But like you said, but it's in front of us here, FBI. Man, question for you first, what's been the one thing that you've been probably just the most excited about during this game so far?
I really enjoyed getting to sit down and get a slice of Corporal Flores' mind that's juice on in here. And I only got like the bare end of the story. And I asked him, how often is it really that as your nickname is Juice, do you get OJ, like OJ Simpson jokes? He said all the freaking time. So I decided not to pursue it. You can't take that low-hanging fruit, Ravish. I pride myself on at least decently original jokes. So he said it happened all the time. Couldn't do it.
Which is exactly what matters. Because, FBI, there's this thing about the difference between the juice and the sauce, because the juice is temporary because it goes in your fridge, but the sauce out of this forever, which I imagine what OJ has on him too as he get into game number 3.
Absolutely. This is best of 7, so this is not going to be the last, even if ARNG takes it again. Now, they took a 5-second goal earlier. It is not going to be a recreated situation until Aoka almost puts it up perfectly. Becky responding to this one. Slothish was the man of the hour until he got demoed. Went down with the ship right there. Teammate came in and kept eye on the prize, even through it a always distracting demolition.
Yes, sir. But so far, a little bit back and forth. Nice little tosses, but they actually whiffed the ball right down mid. Got to clear it down, open net, but right after crossbar, they can't actually pass away. But Woody Youngfin tries to get it in, but unfortunately has no boost on him. Open net, though, but now that I save at the back by Lincoln Land.
Yeah, boost management has been a problem for both of these teams, and that is only coming off of the back of either squad coming forth and just straight up denying getting those big boosts and more. End of the day, though, turning that around and doing it on offense is an entirely different beast indeed. A little bit more than a minute into this one as Becky put up to the corner. Blue, that's Lincoln Land, is on defense. Smaller hits and more so far being what is on the docket for this ball. Now a solid hit to the middle. Get over, just keeps it low and slow and blocks this one away perfectly.
And like you said, just that boost at the last second, the fact that he managed to get the side boost there to really did save that play, because if that was out, if Army National Guard are playing that macro game in front of them, that could have easily been a shot in on net. But already about 3 minutes, 3 seconds into the game left, but Slothers passes down to the middle of the clear yet again. Becky has to get over through the side, but just can't nail it. Nice block yet again.
So close here for the Lincoln Land Community College. The Loggers have tried everything in a bag of chips so far to get this one in. That was extremely close. They took that one. They would have had the first lead of this game indeed. Juice thanking his lucky stars that he decided to play back. Fantastic rotations from the Army National Guard squad so far. Army National Guard squad so far. God squad, we'll call them that. All right, I already said it.
I mean, like, if they're just that good, you might as well stick with the name, right? They're gonna mess around anymore. But, all right, now, like you mentioned, but no boost of force to get over. Just nails one as Lincoln Land out to a hot start.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Like we said, this is the Lincoln Land squad, two-time NJCAA champions, striking first here now in game number 3, and they will not go so quietly into this night. Even 3 shots against 5. Army National Guard's got nothing in so far. Juice with a fantastic hit! And I spoke too soon, Ravish. Juice gets everything in on that one after getting teed up perfectly from Aoka.
And the fact that how it's looking right now, all the way from midfield to a small little pass, but all it took was just a little bump but then to make the score even, and suddenly we're back right by where we started here, FPI. But look at the Army National Guard. They started turning themselves up a little bit of the slow play from the beginning of the Lincoln Clan. They decided to, take the early lead, but Army National Guard right now just trying to set up a good rotation for themselves, but they didn't go back to the boost manager point you raised before. All these guys are running on empty.
Yeah, it really is. It's not very frequent that you pan over to somebody and they have more than 50. What that tells me is this is a game that is just completely back and forth, tooth and nail, fought for it entirely. As I say that, every single person we have changed perspectives onto in the past 4 or 5 have all had 70 or so. So that's one way to make a caster feel stupid, I suppose. Juice over to it. Juice a backboard play right there. Get over tries to, but again, this is just weaker hits from Lincoln Land. Pass the ball more often. Yes, it's gotten taken away by Army National Guard. No, it's not going to work every single time, but simply pass the ball more often. You'll get a lot more shots in.
Exactly, yeah, and also just through the passing the ball that they can set up to would be a good control of the pitches for themselves, which I'm not really seeing necessarily from either team, right? Because like you're saying before, it's been kind of a talking war, a lot of back and forth between the two. Now, and if you were to raise the point again about the boost, the last people that we pan to have had 0. Unfortunately, so
maybe I do feel vindicated.
Exactly. So you're fine. You definitely got a point there. So don't feel too bad about yourself. I'm still in your corner here, fam. But
there it is. Slothish looking anything but lazy right there. We saw 135 km/h shot from him earlier. Tried to recreate that one with, again, not a pinch play like earlier. Still very, very fast, and it's hard to do without pinch action. Becky. Again, Lincoln Land are just getting cursed with the difference of like single degrees of angles here, Ravish. We're talking like single digits, 3-4 degrees angle difference, and they'd be up. I don't even know how much. That's another one. Oh my, a little bit higher, and Ayuka wouldn't have an opportunity this whatsoever. Tied up situation, 30 seconds left. Are we gonna get our first overtime matchup here?
I would love nothing more, especially since I just got here too, so it makes things a little bit more exciting, but I don't want to jinx anything just yet. Between the two right now, still a 1-for-1 game. They go up to 50%, still on Slothish, so they can make this play happen. But Youngfin clears it out. It's looking more and more probable that we get this overtime. Aoka clears it in. They still save it. One more shot could do it, but the ball goes dead on the floor with Youngfin right there, and we're going to overtime.
Yes, we are. We have it no other way. We have the hype man extraordinary here, ravishing Ravish, and it just makes sense for this one to not be slapped down by any means, but instead be an incredibly close barn burner of a match. Oh no, Aoka's there all day long. Look to see it. That's a low and slow blow. Becky connects with it after a bouncer from the right side. 12 seconds of overtime, and that's it.
That's all it took. It was just a little bit. It was a clean shot, and then suddenly Lincoln Land turned up, and Becky was at the right place, right time. After so many shots being missed right into the center, after so many close angles between these two teams, Lincoln Log at their first round here. That's what I want to see. As soon as that joined up, suddenly we got a game. I don't want to say it's because of me, but it's because of me.
That's entirely fair. I'll buy it here, Avish, if you're selling it. 2-1 here in game number 3. This is a Lincoln Land squad. Like I said, this is not going to go so quietly into the night. 2-1 there. Again, doesn't matter. Score difference of 1, score difference of 10. Doesn't matter. They'll take a W any way it comes, even in the sudden death overtime. What we're looking at right now is, I'll just run through the scores here yet again. You just joined. Maybe there's other people who just joined the stream here recently. 1-3 for the NJCAA squad. That's the Lincoln Land Loggers. 2-5 in game number 2 for the Lincoln Land Loggers. Or excuse me, got that backwards. 3-1 for the Army National Guard in game number 1. 5-2 for the Army National Guard in game number 2. Lincoln Land Loggers coming striking back in game number 3. In overtime as well, with a 2-1 victory to get a little bit closer to tying the series up.
And that right there does signal a lot to me, right? Because we've talked about this a genuine amount, which is the concept of adapting to your opponents, especially within Rocket League. You can kind of read the way your opponents want to play. You can kind of understand their motions and their mannerisms, especially in best of sevens like these. Being able to extend it further, although sure you drop a couple of games, but what that shows to me is that the loggers are learning. You can see the LL stands for like
alliteration.
Hey, thank you. There you go.
I do love it. Wordplay is what we do here, but yes, the loggers really have come through, learned a lot from games 1 into 3. Biggest takeaway that you've seen in this game number 3 here, Ravish?
I think the biggest takeaway so far has been between all of them, it's been a lot of like really clean and clear solo plays, right? I've seen a lot of flips, a lot of acrobatics, but I still yet again want to go back to the harking point we were saying before is the management that they have, working on the economy of where you can actually use your boost and where's it necessary. Sure, the flips are cool, the shots are clean, the angles are nice, but if you can't let them land, if you can't save the goal for box to go into your own net because you're a couple degrees off, then what uses all that coolness? You know, you may be too cool for school, but don't be a fool.
There it is. You heard it here first from Ravish. Stay in school, guys. I can guarantee everybody from the Lincoln Land Loggers has done that. Army National Guard, some educated boys as well. But it really does go back to boost so much. You don't have boost, you can't pass the ball. The passing was kind of like my secondary point to that entire thing. You go on offense, you burn everything into it, then these takeaways are simply going to happen. You're not going to be able to spend an entire game on offense when there's such a close skill tier difference between these two teams. You go on offense, you take your shots, but you need to have a back player. That was Juice coming in a lot of ways for the Army National Guard, especially in game number 3. This would have been a much higher score differential if Juice hadn't intentionally played that back position, Ravish.
Yeah, exactly like you were saying. So now going into this game right here, just a couple more seconds, I want to see more careful control play between every single one of these teams. I want to be able to see, I want to be able to see like more passing, like you were mentioning, like more team play, which every single one of the because Rocket League, surprisingly, FB, I don't know if you know, it is a team game. So like, there are 3 people there on the pitch for a reason. Of course, my solo queue games will have me tell you different.
That is entirely fair, fair. The way my teammates treat me in random queues would also kind of allude to that. But hey, Rocket League's no innocence to that. 20 seconds in, not going to have another 5-second goal in this one, Ravish. That went the way of the Army National Guard last time. But hey, Lincoln Land brought it back in game number 3 all day long. See how this continues on. 30 seconds in.
Yes, sir. Now, I'm all for genuine series between every single one of these people, right? Because I'm sure that's what they want to, considering we're so close to the finals, right? How hard have you guys been working all season? It may not be 5, but it's 40 seconds. Army National Guard started off.
Yes, sir. This is going to be the Juice right here, giving them the sauce or something like that towards the middle. 88 kilometers per hour. Kind of a lower and slower on this, but that bounce play is just deadly for the Army National Guard. I honestly, I can't. I'm not sure if I can count how it would be a shorter number, is what I'm saying. It'd be a smaller number for the Army National Guard to count the number of goals that they've just made straight in, as opposed to bounce plays or passes therein.
Exactly, that right there too was looking a little bit too close for comfort, but you mentioned it there as well, FBI, because there's the Juice, but remember, the sauce is forever, and shots like that also stay forever too. Because OG expires in your fridge, but barbecue sauce can stay for years. As that, he just walks right in, all right?
You know what our man Guccius Maximus said, and that is that without sauce, Ravish, a man is certainly lost, but that same man can also be lost in the sauce. Use the sauce, whatever it is, everything's firing on all cylinders for both of these squads so far. Really, games 1 and 2 have just been one-sided, I think that's fair to say. Game 3, and so far, game 4 have been anything but that.
I mean, being lost in the sauce too, I find like Army National Guard a little bit lost in their own pitch, considering Slatic was able to walk that goal in. So already on its own, we managed to create a tug of war, but another shot on open net goes to the ref side. And although they're able to clear it out, yet again, we're seeing all these no boost numbers too, because now that they've actually managed to clear the ball all the way to the orange side, they can't manage to set up a rotation. They can't manage to set up an actual back and forth or even just a 3-man, because they're really playing that far back, because they're looking to see if they can possibly get a shot in, and then suddenly, yet again, it's cleared back to the other side.
I guess just these Army National Guard members much think they're Spider-Man, the way they're so frequently coming off the walls with these balls. It doesn't make any sense. You burn every bit of boost to get up there, and then you come down, you send it flying away just for it to get picked up and covered by a Lincoln Land player. Like, this is about as effective as if Spider-Man wrapped up a bunch of criminals, and then at the end he just said, all right, well, and just throws them right back in the bank that they're robbing. I don't get it. Like,
or, you know what, too? Like, honestly, going off of that as well, it would low-key be like as if, like Spider-Man reaches somebody on the streets and like, all right, cool, now don't do crime again, and then leaves them there and walks away, expects them to turn their life around suddenly. Like, no, man, that's not how that works.
Deep statements on the efficacy of the prison system here from Ravishing Ravish. We'll get deeper into that later, guys. I don't think that's why they paid us for it here today.
No, definitely not.
2 minutes. We're having a lot of fun. Oh my God, that was close. That's gonna be
shot it.
No, it's not. That's bottom post. You almost never hit a bottom post here, but yes, we're not getting that philosophical with you guys here today. I promise. That's another one on point, and this is just back and forth. My God, some of the longest shots we've seen in these games so far.
But yet again, goes down to the Mitch top bar though. But Becky waiting for the play at the side with a young fin. Unfortunately, without the whiff, and shot goes in. And there's 2 people there. Luckily, 2 goalies sometimes is better than 1. But the shot bounces off. He has no boost to be able to clear Ioka. If he had a little bit more power behind the shot, that could have been a 1-goal game. And now suddenly with 6 people all crowded around the net, there's just unnecessary amounts of bouncing happening at me.
I am lost. Like Uchius Maximus, I'm the man without sauce, and I am lost. This is going back between like these crazy area balls that basically live. They're basically setting up a shop, buying an apartment in midfield, and then just a 6-man scrum right in front of either person's goal. And of course, nobody scored in about 4 minutes. So like, what is going on? Like, this is just such a back and forth match. It's hard to really kind of control the pace or the pitch of this game.
No way. Oh, okay, just gets back in time.
Yeah, that wouldn't have happened. It's been 1-1 for so long. It would break the script if somebody got an open net like that.
It was like an Interstellar. Like right now, Matthew McConaughey is poking at the books, like making sure nothing bad happens to like to Murph or to anyone on either side.
Yeah.
Apparently.
This little move is going to cost us 30 seconds to put us into overtime.
McConaughey, brother, if you're listening, please let somebody score. Poke at some of the books. Go into the 5th dimension if you have to. I want to see a game come out of this. Oh, but no.
And there's again, Slothish has full boost. He's able to get to this one, corner it out, and put it in an open net situation in 10 seconds for Vish. This is what we've been saying this entire time.
Yes, sir. But I think my turn around though. Ioka puts it again. It's a little bit too high, and as it clears out, we're looking at a second overtime of the game. Did I jinx something by coming here? I feel like you're looking like.
The seer Ravishing Ravish comes in, and we get nothing but electrifying Rocket League. I'd have it no other way. Becky looking, oh my God, a little bit faster, and he put that one in all day and finished this one almost as quickly as the first overtime ended. That would have been Lincoln Land as well. As it is, rotations here for Lincoln Land. No, it's not. Slothish with getting there somehow, breaking time in the fabric of space to get on top of this one.
Yes, sir. You can see the 5th dimension coming through again, but Leon with the top part. A lot of support behind him too. When Youngfin clears out, nobody got net. There we go. Ioka with a nice pass to clear the shot in. Army National Guard on match point.
That was fantastic stuff. Gotta say, Ioka's assisted balls in to then have a result in the credit for the score going a different way. I think that's about as positive a way as I can say that one. Other situations, it makes a lot of sense to get on top of this one. This one is a team game, who cares? We're, of course, memeing a little bit. Much lower scoring as well. What we had, game 1, it was 4 total scores, 3-1 for the Army National Guard. Game 2, 7, 5-2 for the Army National Guard. Game 3 went down to overtime. And that was just a 2-1. Total scores of 3 here. Even I can do that math, Ravish. That went the way of Lincoln Land. Game 4 goes down overtime as well, but goes the other way. That's for Army National Guard. They scored their 3rd, and now we're on serious point, Ravish.
Yes, sir. Like you mentioned, Lincoln Land fighting for survival in this game, fighting for pride, for prejudice, where that's not right. Fighting for pride, mainly, not the second part of the book. I never read the whole thing. But
that's fair. It was the first half, right?
Exactly, yeah. The first half is pride, second half is prejudice. Everybody knows this. But what matters right now, too, because whether they can get to the second half of the book right now, like I perhaps read a little bit more than I did, because I want to see more than the second half of the series here, FBI.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lincoln Land, Army National Guard going back to battle here for serious point. I would love to see Lincoln Land come back in this game number 5, at least push it to in the game number 4. I'm a fool. I keep doing this backwards. There you go. Game number 5, because this is game number 5. This many fingers, right? This many? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we got that right here. I have not grown a 6 finger. I've not lost a finger recently, guys. Stranger things have happened during Rocket League Cast with Ravish, so there's no real telling this one. Getting back into it, shout out to our sponsors, Army National Guard, the NJCAAE, and HyperX. Big presence in esports indeed. Getting back into it now. Serious point, the Army National Guard on top right now.
Yes, sir. I was trying to simulate me possibly losing a fourth finger and bringing it back again.
I lost that. Sorry.
That's okay. What matters is right now is that we're in the game number 5 between these two. If I did correctly the math, did I do the math? Game number 5?
Yes. Yeah. This is game number 5. 1, 3, 2, 5, 2, 1, and 1, 2. Meaning number 5. I just did the fingers.
So
and
many
everything.
numbers. Yeah. You just like see now I'm even more confused. Yeah. Don't do this to me, man. I can't do this no more. We're playing games. We're playing games. What matters is that the only numbers in front of us are 0, 0, 4, 33, and suddenly that was almost about to change.
That's a very, very good point, Ravish. 5 seconds was the fastest score so far. They'll even take it in 30 seconds after the past 3 games have been incredibly close. Back over the middle. Pop plays over. Get over. Excuse me. Tried it, and that's going to be a Slothish slinking this one in right across the middle. Once again, don't have to hit it front, don't have to hit it fast. You just have to angle it out correctly. I got to ask, though, where's the Army National Guard? Like, Aoka was playing it. Where are the other 2 players? Like,
well, you see, what happens is that the pitch is actually quite wide, so you maybe would have thought, like, Aoka's firing up against 3 people, right? Because that's usually what happens with these solo plays. You're thinking, yo, Aoka can easily defend this. He's basically the Matt Sundin of the soccer game. But, fortunately, there's only so much that he can do, right? Considering he doesn't have much support, because everybody needs some support sometimes.
That we do. I was feeling lost and alone without you before, Ravish. Gravy train now. Back over. That is Juice that came up and hit it. Is that no, okay, it's not. That would have been far and away our longest goal here today, especially given we really haven't gotten as many of those, Ravish. These have mostly been up close and personal so far. Get over. Nice pop. That's even a connection there to get this ball a little bit faster, and Becky covering that one up all day long, leaves Lincoln Land on attack. Still, Aoka forcing the hand here, so defenders really not in a great position right now, not able to keep this one up, and Aoka puts us up perfectly. Twerks with what he has. Only a little bit of boost doesn't matter. The high-flying offense from Lincoln Land sends us flying against the backboard, and that's a redirect for the ages.
That was like skipping rocks if one of the rocks was your enemy and wanted to make sure you threw it back at you. But it does not matter when you got a clear trajectory. It's like the Army National Guard, I made it a 1-1, and now as they made a 1-goal game, you know what that means, FBI? Now we chill until overtime, because it happened every time.
That's very true. That's very true. Which way it ever went in Game 3, that was Lincoln Land. In Game 4, that was Army National Guard. Doesn't matter. It went 1-1 about 2 minutes in, and then just these 2 teams just did battle and demolished each other and passed the ball back and over again, like good kids playing together, sharing the ball. But yeah, very, very good point. 15 seconds outside of halftime here. Back on up the corner. Slothish and the rest of Lincoln Land trying to get on offense, and Slothish just gives up this ball like he is giving out samples at a Costco.
That's what we absolutely love to see. Man, bro, I went to Costco just yesterday, and if I started to give out samples again, oh my God, I've never been happier. It has been my reason for going half the time. But my reason for being here is seeing more shots like that, and saves like that by Aoka.
Yes, sir. They both taste great, I can tell you.
Delicious.
Juice. The Army National Guards had a mild issue kind of getting centered on this. What I mean is they'll be running from right or left side and then just not have a correct angle. And Slothish again can't pop this one up. Woody gives it to him right here.
He went in from the back in the net and then just straight down middle and nails it in somehow. That was impressive. That was those long goals that you were talking about here, FBI. And now, Army National Guard made it a 1-goal game. So Lincoln Land now suddenly playing much more on the offensive. The pressure has mounted on top of them with just under 2 minutes left to fight this game, this series.
Yes, sir. 100 seconds or so. Lead of 1. No lead indeed in Rocket League, but this is the Army National Guard who take it any way they can. By 1, by 10, doesn't matter. Slothish up. Slothish almost breaking every bone in the feet of those defenders. Feet breaking every break. I don't know. It's a car.
So your feet have both, but they also got the phalanges. And if the phalanges break, actually, that's when you in trouble because it's that muscle. And Get Over just has none in his body because that just slipped right in.
That is one of the wonkiest demolitions redirect on a ball I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like the ball gets like just goes through fragments of body, bone, and car, gets slightly, very, very slightly redirected and slowed down, and then set up perfectly for offenders. The maddening stuff.
It confuses the heck out of me. Like I said before, it slips right in, but Slothish with a nice save, being able to redeem himself. But now, our national guard on the offensive, 3 back in net with 1 minute remaining, suddenly it's 2-2. But to get the demo, can they possibly clear it? Ball goes out to the side, cleared out though. Elka chasing it, unfortunately doesn't whiff. Finally able to clear it in, but can they get more though? They pass it back.
Our Army National Guard had about as perfect as an opportunity as you're going to get. A slowed player in the air without boost, centered up in front of goal. These are things that do not happen often outside of your birthday. Didn't come up in front of it, didn't take advantage of it, score still 2-2.
Starting now with 30 seconds left to go. It's looking more clear like an overtime possibility, but they'll commit at the side by Lincoln Land. They get it all up in the air, no boost on them, but luckily lands the 100 up open net. Oh, okay, Elka saves it yet again. That's 3 times now. He's had these clutch saves. And I'm going to overtime. Yeah.
Get overs have been showing up all day long defensively. That's a bounce. This is not the done ball quite yet. Juice did not get the under hit to it. Grounds ball out, and we go to our 3rd overtime in a row, Ravish.
Yes, sir. Now Lincoln have the pressure, and if the pattern has ended as safe for us, this should be their game. But I mean, National Guard, no in front of them, no the ball's moving about them, but okay. Now there's 2 more in front of them. The angle just unfortunately was not right. Ayoka just fighting up against 3, but unfortunately, yet again, stuck upriver with no support and no paddle.
No. No. Thinking the gods of geometry on that one, Ravish.
Every single time Pythagoras would be proud.
Yeah, we're looking at 40 seconds up here, and I believe that's longer than our previous 2 overtimes combined. We're looking at 11 seconds in the first or so, 30 in the second, and that is true. Sloth, nice hit. Community College needs to get on top of this one. And again, just the difference of bare single-degree angles. Hate to see it. Slothish back up to it, not gonna give this one up so easily. Juice with a perfect redirect on the side. Now that's a corner play. Now that's set up, but Woody cannot get there in time. A little bit closer he might have, but I think Defender would have had it. And that is a fast redirect from the bottom right. Popped up in the ARNG. That's the Army National Guard putting a cap on this match.
What a sick pass there too, and so much of that was set up by Aoka himself, because he actually passed it down to the side, set it up for himself, down in the middle, and we just hear, bro, that was sick. Just a bare angle in. Army National Guard, they do it again. Big shout out to them.
Absolutely. Last 3 games going down to overtime as well. It is confirmed, everybody. Ravishing Ravish is a good luck charm. First 2 games going 3-1. Biggest score difference, or excuse me, second biggest score difference, 3-1 Army National Guard. Game numero dos going 5-2. That was the biggest score difference at 3. All 3 games after that going down to overtime, and a score difference of 1, of course. 2-1 for Lincoln Land in the game number 3. 1-2 Army National Guard. Army National Guard brings this one out at 3-2 in the last game here of the series, taking the series and undying glory for all of time, or until they play again.
Exactly, which is what matters for now, though, which I believe we do have another interview set up to be able to see the Army National Guard. So actually, we'll cut to a very brief short. When we come back, we'll hear from them very soon.
And we are back. Little post-match interview action coming at you after the ARNG took on the NJCAAE in our Rocket League showcase. I'm FBI Tugboat. I'm joined the audible chocolate that is Ravishing Ravish. And we got Juice, that's Corporal Flores, coming in after the game as well as before to give us a minute of his time. We do appreciate that. Corporal Flores, you with me?
Absolutely, yeah.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I'm going to start this out a little bit more open-ended question for you and then throw it on over to Ravish to really get down the nitty-gritty of this match. And just so more open-ended question, did this matchup that went down 4-1 with you guys winning, of course, kind of go the way that you expected?
More or less. We're playing out there, having a lot of fun. and yeah, we're just kicking back. I was a little rusty, so if you saw me whiff a few things, it's it's
Oh, we
like that
called it out.
sometimes. Yeah, okay, yeah, I would hope so. Yeah, I was like, I just totally missed the ball. Like it was weird.
We
Yeah.
have a dedication to our fans and our viewers to show the
Exactly.
game how we. There you go. Right.
No,
Exactly.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
There it is. There
Proper
it is.
roasting is
Ravish.
deserved.
Even though you know what, even though I'm Diamond, but I will say I am GC in Rumble, so I know a thing or two about Rocket League.
Yeah, no, I get destroyed in Rumble. It's
well, I'm gonna play
it's a whole
anytime.
different animal. It really is.
It really is, right? It takes a mindset to be able to score a shot from the other side of the net. But that's we're going to talk about all that, right? What we're going to talk about though, because you're mentioning you're a little bit rusty too.
Yeah.
So as you guys evolved your gameplay, going from all different game 1 to even game 4, so talk to me about the evolution. What were some of the comms like? How did you guys adapt to your opponents?
Yeah, so right from the get-go, at the beginning of the first game, we're kind of gauging how they're hitting the ball, where they're moving and things like that, kind of getting a feel for them. And then from then on, we just kind of turned on the gas and started playing. Now, they did rally back, though, going into the next games. So that was pretty neat to see. I mean, first of all, GG's to the Loggers. It was a lot of fun.
Not first of all. You said that about midway through here now.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's because I forget sometimes. I normally have my Bacchus mod throughout the GG,
Yeah.
so saying it out of
Yeah, I get it. I'm just playing around with your corporate flows.
No, it's fine. It's kind of like when you say you go into like manual breathing. Now you're paying attention to it.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
No, I totally
I
get
got
you. Ravish.
Yeah, for sure. But like you're saying, right? Like paying attention to them, the opponents, and really being able to like understand just the essential flow of the game too.
Correct.
Talk to me about those like overtime like shots too, because I find that y'all going for a lot of slow plays, a lot of flips, a lot of dives, but like what was like, what was the process between like of slowing that down, like with separate rotations? Because I find when you're able to get some of that time to yourself and set up like a 3-man rotation on the pitch, was really when you guys shined as a team.
Yeah, so on this one, it's just we're calling out, especially on those big sends. We're like big boom incoming, so we just send it, and then we call, hey, I'm up here, I'm a top right or top left, and we just send the ball and kind of let her kind of do our own thing and then follow up on the shot. So a lot of them, like even the last overtime shot, they were blocking the net. There's no way I'm scoring that because they see the pass coming into the center. They're expecting that redirect. So, I mean, huge props to Blaze or Aoka for being able to read that off the backboard and get that in. Because if you saw the replay, the defenders were where they needed to be. However, Aoka's read off that backboard there was crisp. It was nice.
Absolutely beautiful. Final one for me here to talk about is that I just want to know from y'all, would you be down for a rematch? Could you complete the run back and still maybe come out on top, you think?
Absolutely. I mean, if they want to do another scrim or a rematch, we're all for it. I'll play a lot more, so hopefully whiff a lot less. But overall, I mean, it was a lot of fun. The pace of the game was great. It was fun.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Juice out here saying, yeah, you want the shellacking again? We got another serving for you. Come here. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Again, putting words in mouths. But seriously, how interesting, how amazing of a match that we get here. Games 1 and 2, you guys really shut them down. There were pass plays, a lot more longer range stuff, just simply mailing these shots from a different area code, still making them in. Especially that game 2, 5-2, far and away the largest score differential at 3. We only saw a score differential of 1 for those next 3 games. So really the first 2/5 of this game, I guess, really kind of going a different way. Lincoln Land kind of reading what they needed to do, and then I really feel like that was kind of a test of skill as it came in. Both teams reading and kind of understanding what they knew about each other. So I want to ask you if there was any really one thing specifically that you guys changed from like the games 1 and 2 going on to games 3, 4, and 5.
So we essentially kind of slowed up a bit. So the first games are kind of just trying to choke them out as far as with boost and management and stuff like that. And then we started noticing that they would kind of push up on the field a lot more. So that's why you saw a lot of those lobs. Now, once they started playing, started making sure they covered those areas, we had to slow down and kind of poke and see what else is going to work. So we definitely did have to change the pace, which big shout out to them for being able to adjust and fix it on the fly, which is the super cool thing whenever you play long series like this. You have to kind of, the first game is always a feeler. That's what I tell my guys. It's like, hey, you win or lose, you're trying to identify the play style. And then the next games, you start kind of adjusting, and whoever adjusts the best is going to come out on top.
There it is. Yeah, in best of 3s, 5s, or 7s, don't treat best of 1s like that, everybody.
Yeah, no. Best of one's just full send all the time.
Exactly. But yeah, no, 100% true. First game always going to be kind of that litmus test, figuring out the opponents and what you want to recreate, what you want to not let them do again, and everything in between. Corporate Flores, a fantastic performance from you and your squad. I want to thank you for coming in before the match and after the match now to give us a minute of your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
No, not a problem, sir. We'll see you next time. See you next
Have a good
time.
one.
Getting back on into it. I believe with that, Ravish, we have reached my least favorite part of any broadcast. And that, of course, is the end. I want to give big shout outs here to the Army National Guard, as well as the NJCAAE. That's the National Junior College Athletic Association esports side, hence the E on the end, as well as HyperX, a small mom and pop shop that puts down hardware for esports wise, everything in between. I'm kidding, of course. HyperX is one of the biggest names on out there. If you somehow don't know, you can check out their website, their Twitter, and everything in between, as well as the Army National Guards and the NJCAAEs. If you enjoyed what you heard here today, which would be surprising if you're talking about me, which would be absolutely mind-blowing if you didn't enjoy the audible chocolate over here from Ravish, you can check us out at FBI_tugboat and at Ravishing Ravish, spelled just like it sounds. I want to give a shout out to Colton, to KTAD here for helping us out. Colton to produce away somewhere out there in the cosmos and helping us out as casters, making our job so much easier, and really do appreciate that. Now, with that, Ravish, I believe that's about it. Do you have anything else for the good people?
No, I mean, that's been actually for all. I appreciate you all having me, and I'm glad I could finally make it to see your beautiful face and everybody else playing today, man. Fantastic stuff. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll catch you guys next time.